friends, I am back. So I am going to read another one of my poems from my book, Where the Moss Grows Old. As you can see, this book has no not for resale bar across it. This is the real deal. This is what my book looks like. So I'm pretty excited about that. My book showed up late on Saturday. I was a little worried that it wasn't going to show up because it was taking a really long time, but it did. It's here. And so now I'm really excited to show that, and I might not be coming across as particularly excited because honestly today has just been a day. It just, parts of this morning started out okay, and then it just a couple things happened. We got some news, we talked to some people, and it just, today just turned out rough. And even with my kids, things just seemed really rough. So I had planned to get this video out hours ago, and that just didn't happen for another reasons. In fact, the reason why I'm recording here instead of downstairs on the couch is because this is the first quiet moment I've had all day. And so we're up here in the spare room. So welcome to the spare room where people stay when they come over to our house. So I was actually originally going to read a poem called Church Bells because a friend of mine said that she really liked it, and so she asked if I could do it. And with how today is going, I'm actually going to do a poem I wasn't planning on reading this week, but I decided that with how today went, I am going to do that poem. So without further ado, we are going to read the poem Grace. I sit in the nursery, here rocking to and fro, waiting for the moment of peace its face to show. I look at my gray shirt, now covered in your drool, and wonder to the day when I'll wear something new. I'd burned all the baked goods and measured in wrong ways, while you emptied the cupboards and had so much to say. I might have yelled just once and cried out to the void, as I picked up the laundry for weeks I did avoid. I failed myself today, just as the week before, with no dinner cooking, and Dad came through the door. You saw my anger showing, but still gave no complaint, showing me your picture made on the wall with paint. Sighing in that moment, I put away your toys, for what else could I do to drown out all the noise of all my making, as I busied my days, in tasks and crafts and cleaning, until the evening rays. And then you toddled softly into my arms again, and my sin crept between to push my heart within. But grace found its moment, and you opened my heart, holding me in chaos that would tear us apart. Now I rock in quiet while you sleep in my arms, for me to see clearly that you hold all life's charms. I wear something new now, so small and fragile be, a thing of my creation who somehow still loves me. Smiling in that moment, my toe then kicked a toy. It'd be there tomorrow, a work that brings me joy. But these times won't linger, and snuggles soon will cease. Growing beyond my arms, you'll seek from me no peace. Tightly now I hold you, your mouth parted so small. As I stare to your face, how could I part at all? Laundry still is waiting, the meal's still unprepared, but I won't miss my world that you now with me shared. I rock you back and forth now with a stolen moment's peace, thankful for your bright grace and teaching me to cease. So I'm really sorry. I am incapable of reading this poem and the two that come after it without crying. Because it, goodness. So I chose this poem obviously because today has not gone well. I tried multiple times today to spend time with my kids, and those couple times went well, but I also lost my patience a couple times this afternoon, and I wasn't able to get the things done that I needed to get done. You know, I had this, and this to get done, and I got this and this done, and the rest of it just kind of went out the window. And although now I guess this one is at least finally happening. And so I'm wearing my lovely stained jacket that I stained today, putting Vaseline on my son, and got it all over me, and didn't have time to wash my hair today. And you know, I'm tired. You know, and there's days when you're just dealing with your kids and family and life and even writing, where it's just like, I'm just tired. I just want to get things done. You know, I just want a moment's peace, you know. I don't want someone hanging on me. But I wrote this poem I want to say it was like shortly after my son was born, but it's actually more about my daughter. A lot of the images that you see in there come from my daughter. I think it was after my son was born. It's either just after or just before my son was born. Um, but the actual the first words of it, where I even talk about the gray shirt and a couple of lines from it, actually came from a friend of mine who I knew growing up. I actually knew her when she was a kid. Like I've known her since she was like, gosh, 7 or something like that. And now she's married and she has a baby and he's absolutely adorable. And she wrote something about how hard it is sometimes being a mom, and just how there's just all this stuff and all these pressures that are just put on you, and just it seems like there are just some days where it's just one day after another, or one thing after another, where everything is just going wrong, and then your kid just comes up to you and they've probably just done something that's like slightly organized chaos, and you're just like, no, not this. They're just so excited to share it with you. I put this one story on there on the wall of paint. My daughter, I think this was last year, I was in the middle of 5 different tasks, and I needed to paint the upstairs, and there's one more room in the house that I needed to paint, and I had to do this before my son was born. So this couldn't have been last year. Maybe it was. I think it might have been February of last year. And I had run upstairs to go do something real quick. And I came back down, and my daughter had figured out how to open the top of the paint cans. I had them closed, but she had figured out how to open the top of them, and she got paint everywhere, including all over the table set that I was trying to sell at the time. And like, seriously, it was just everywhere. It was all over her hair, all over her clothes. It was a sight to behold. And I just couldn't help but laugh when it happened, because she was just so excited to show me. She really was. And the name Grace of this poem actually also came from my daughter. I was originally thinking of naming her putting her middle name Grace. We changed that later, but it was fitting because it's kind of in memory of my daughter, but also it's a reminder of just us moms, us dads, or you dads. I'm not a dad. That we just need to have a little bit of grace with our kids and with ourselves. That just there are going to be days where not everything's going to happen, and it's going to be chaotic, and for some of us, showers aren't going to happen, hair is not going to get brushed, food is going to get burned. In fact, about an hour before I'm recording this, I burned half of my daughter's sandwich. So, yay. It is just what happens sometimes, like the messes are going to get made. You're going to be putting laundry away on this side of the room, and the other side, your 1-year-old is pulling all your socks out of your drawer. Organized chaos, right? And there are days like today where you're not going to get all the projects done that you want to get done. I was supposed to write today. Didn't happen. I was supposed to finish a couple other things today. It's not going to happen. But you know what? I got to play with my kids today. I got to do some phonics with my daughter. I got food done. People did eat tonight. I got to do some shopping so that my family had food for the next couple weeks. And you know what? We're all still here. And sometimes I love these moments, especially in the evening with my kids. Especially there was this moment today when I was putting my son to bed, and I was singing to him, and he fell asleep. And it's been a while since he has fallen asleep in my arms. And there are just those precious moments where you just stop. I don't bring my phone with me, and I just sit there and snuggle with my kids and remind them that I love them, and that I remember that they love me. And so that's Grace. I was hoping that more parents would connect with it. This is in the last section of my book. It's one of the last 3 poems in my book, the section called Home. So there's wonder, memory, and home, although most of them have to do with memory. But I wanted one later when my kids read this, I want them to remember that, hey, there were some rough days, but I love you. Even still, I want my kids to know that now. And I want it as a reminder to me too, where I can be so quick to anger and quick to speak, and I just need to remember to just pause, take a deep breath, and remember that in the greater scheme of things, these little mix-ups, these bad days, they're little, and in the end, my kids aren't going to remember them. Honestly, I'm probably not going to remember them, but I should hold on to these beautiful moments and just have a little bit of grace for all of us. So that's grace. I'll try to read Church Bells later this week, my dear friend. But today I need a little bit of grace. So, anyways, you can get my book, Where the Moss Grows Old. It's on pre-order now. If you head over to the link in my profile, you can even get a sneak peek at some of these poems. Honestly, I don't remember which poems I put in there because it was months ago that I did that, but you can do that and you can check it out. I'm pretty excited about it. I love my cover. It's very cool. But yeah, have a little grace with me today. Have a little grace for yourself and maybe those around you. And you have a wonderful day. Bye.